Guys, we are talking hammocks. We've got a tent here that you can park your motorcycle in. We got one that you can strap onto the side of your bike. We got one that looks like a space shuttle capsule thing that you can pump up. We've got Tipi. We've got everything. This is the tent episode. We're going to cover a lot of bases in this episode, just to give you guys a general idea on what you can pack. You don't have to stick to these brands, you can go and choose your own. We're going to go through how they strap up to your motorcycle, the setup procedure, how comfortable they are, seasonal. Obviously, depends on what sort of camping you're doing. If you're going way out into the wilderness, you will want something small, something lightweight, something easy to set up, pack down, that takes up minimal space on your motorbike. Or if you just want to go to a caravan park, or if you're not doing that much trailing at all, you can afford something a little bit bigger on your bike, and that adds to comfort and everything as well. And hopefully this episode will help you decide what the best tent is for you guys. Navigating to your campsite can be a pretty tedious task. You're trying to find the best route to go, the most scenic, the most enjoyable. Well, there is an app that's out there that I use that finds all these roads for you so fast, and it can create the best scenic route to your campsite. The app is called Moto. Guys, check this out. So here, you may notice something a little different. There are all these red squiggly lines. Those red squiggly lines highlight all the twisties all around the world. Any road that looks like a twisty, it's gonna highlight it. Let's just say we're gonna leave Adelaide to our campsite here. Set as destination, bang, it's just created a route through as many twisties as possible. Now, if you want to extend this, if you want to change it anyway, very, very simple. Right click, create via point, bang. But now it's taken us this way. What do? Set it another via point here. And you can rejig and change anything, any which way you would like. It's always gonna take you to your destination, and you're gonna have a damn good time. One feature that's very handy for us moto campers is the campsite tab. It highlights all of the campsites all around the place. Look at that. Australia is absolutely pumping full of them. Then once you're done, head over here, hit save. That'll save it to your account, so it'll be on your phone, and then you can navigate there just like you would Google Maps or something like that. It's €60 for a yearly premium membership. Or if you're going for a little getaway, it's €10 for a weekly membership. For 10% off the yearly subscription, use code Feelz10, and for a 30-day free trial, use code Feelz30. Give it a crack, man. It's so good. Thank you so much, Moto, for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the tents. First one, the most basic tent. This one I bought for $100 from our camp store here in Australia. This is the Denali Kakadu II. It's a hiking tent. And this is one of the very first tents that I bought for my travels around New South Wales quite a while ago now. And it's a great little tent. It's quite light. It's only 2.5 kilos. Any small hiking tent is great for if you're hitting the trails. You need something small, something compact. You can store some things in the little sheltered area at the front. You've got some pockets inside. You've got a hook for the lantern. Sleeps two, I'd say one comfortably with some gear inside. And if you're only going camping a few times a year, you're not doing so much extreme weather or anything like that, this is a great starting point. It's cheap, it's not the highest quality, but you will have a good time camping with a cheap hiking tent. You don't need to spend big bucks, you know. Get one of these bad boys and yeah, you can head out into the trails and have a damn good time. Now, I've got no water for these. We'll just talk about this one. This here is the Abel Brown Nomad 4 tent. I really, really dig this. I love this because there's no poles. It's made specifically for motorcyclists. This is the one that you strap to the side of your bike. It looks pretty cool. It's perfect for one person. This thing's only 1.5 kilos. I reckon the heaviest part is the metal plate there that you have to put underneath your side stand. There's no poles. It all just straps up to your bike, so you don't have to carry extra gear with you or anything like that. This is it. This is how big it is. It's nice and small, nice and compact. It's pretty easy to set up to your bike. They market this mainly to strap to the side of your shovel head or your chopper. I don't have either of those, but they strap up fine to the Street Scrambler, and I've seen them on some ADV bikes as well. I'll actually be participating in an enduro event next year in the Philippines, and I'm going to be bringing this one with me because there's one night that we'll have to camp. This is perfect for one person. There's some gear storage on the outside, and you can hide some things on the inside. Has internal pockets. Seasonal, I'd say, yeah, 3 seasons. I reckon it could get a bit nippy in winter only because the fabric's quite thin. But other than that, yeah, you got your ripstop fabric, and yeah, it's a wicked little tent. And I like how these have the straps on the sides to pack it down even more. Like, you know, ones like this one here, you don't have that extra, you know what I mean? If that had straps on there, you could suck that down a lot more and save some more space. So I'm always pro the straps on the packaging. Awesome, awesome little tent. I love this thing. The next one, let's look at, we'll go to the hammock. This is the full-blown hammock setup by Alton. The hammock itself is in this one right here. This is the size of the hammock. How much does this weigh? This weighs 340 grams, guys. Just this tiny little thing. Boop. And sometimes I just bring this with me on a camping trip. Although I've got other tents, I'll just bring the hammock and I set that up and I treat that as the lounging sort of area. We can just relax under a tree and read a book or just chill out. It takes up barely any space. Alton's a brand in Australia. I'm pretty sure they ship worldwide. And this hammock holds up to 300 kilos. And it's been tested. There's a little preview on their website with 2 4-wheel drives with the hammock in between them, towing or pushing a car backwards using the hammock. Pretty clever stuff. 300 kilo weight, insane. With this though, if you want to sleep with it at night, you need you would want to have the bug net. This is 275 grams and is, that much bigger. And you'll probably want a tarp as well to cover you if it starts raining or something like that. And this is their ultralight tarps. This is the biggest one out of all of them. This thing's total packed weight is 782 grams. So you've got some pegs in there and then all your line as well. You will need to learn how to tie some knots. And there's a book that you can also purchase, which I did. It's the field guide. And this shows all different ways of setting up the shelter. Really clever stuff, using different sticks and everything. And this book's all durable, but it looks all old school. It's very, very clever the way they've done it. And it also shows you how to tie some knots here at the back. And they're not hard. They're not hard to tie up or anything like that. Really, really cool. Nice lightweight, nice and compact. Setting up can take a little while just to get everything right, especially with the tarp. With the hammock, that's very, very easy to set up, same as the bug net. It's mainly the tarp that takes the longest to set up, especially if it's your first time. But then once you get it done, it looks awesome. The campsite looks wicked. And they only have this one army kind of green color, which is nice. You've got one little pocket on the outside of the hammock, and then you have some more pockets on the inside of the bug net. Just take note with this, guys, you're quite exposed to the elements. So if you want to do this in winter, then make sure you bring a thermal liner. The first time I used this, it got down to 3 degrees in the morning as the sun rose, and it was freezing cold the entire night. I thought it would have been enough just having my motorbike jacket as a liner, but it isn't, man. And that cold air was just hitting any contact that I had on the hammock. So make sure you bring a thermal liner if you're going to be doing winter camping. Otherwise, the lowest temperature you'd want is about 15 degrees, I'd say, to be comfortable. But I had a great sleep. They're super comfortable, very awesome camping experience. And this is just the straps. So that's the footprint right there. Pack that in your bag or whatever. And I like that it's all sort of separate because you can just chuck this in one pocket, chuck this in another, chuck this in another. Obviously, you need trees as well. Something to tie the hammock up to. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to be a bit stuck. While we're on the hammock train, let's talk about this guy. So this is the Exod Monolith. This thing's pretty damn fancy. Super, super, super high quality. You can just feel everything. Just feels all nice and really well textured. Remember when I was talking about the strap things? I would love the straps to be on this. Strap it down even more and save you some more of that space. But anyways, the Monolith tent. This is like the space capsule shuttle, cool looking hovering floating tent thing. And again, it's cool that it's all sort of separate so that you can just pack things in different storage areas on your bike. Setting this up for the first time may seem confusing, as with all tents, but this one's because it's a completely different design that you most likely haven't seen before. But they do have a really cool tutorial on their YouTube channel on how to set it up. So I watched that a few times and made sure it was in my head and made sure that where I went to go camping had reception so I could watch the video when I was there as well. But then once you have it the first time, you're already sort of halfway set up. You don't have to keep on clipping everything together. I just rolled it up all together, and that's what you're seeing in this massive bag right there. The cool thing about this is that, yeah, you can have it as a hammock floating in between 2 trees, or you can actually set this up on the ground as well. It comes with tent pegs. I've never actually done that before, but yeah, if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, there's no trees, you can still set it up like a normal tent. It is only a 1-person tent. It's got an awesome storage section underneath that you can access through inside the tent. You can just reach around and grab anything that you need. Entrances on both sides, hook for your lantern. It's an air frame, so you have this pump here and you pump up the frame and it all just sort of, pops up, really cool. You just got these 2 poles there. There's sort of your balance poles for each end of the hammock, and then you got all your straps in this bag here. And that straps everything down nice and tight so it doesn't move. It's super, super, super sturdy. It's actually a very, very comfortable sleep. You don't need an air mattress if you don't want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, just to save on space. If it's a cooler night, then yeah, definitely bring an air mattress or something just to create a thermal liner so you don't get cold at night. Great protection from the elements. It's very dark inside, which is nice if you're a late riser. And it's super high quality as well with the ripstop fabric and all that sort of good stuff. It does come at a hefty price though. We're talking 890 euro or 950 USD for this bad boy. So it's a fair bit. But, you know, it's a different kind of camping experience. It looks very cool. You can fit this on your bike and have a good time. To the next hammock tent. This one is called the Kakadu Hammock Tent. I took this out just last week. It's a cool little lightweight hammock tent. Packs down pretty small. I was using the Moscow Reckless 80, and this fit in one of the Sidewinder bags with enough space to fit all my cooking stuff in as well. So yeah, it packs down pretty small. It's got my favorite little straps here, so you can tighten that right down as well. And that's everything you need right there. Cool little carry bag, waterproof, ripstop fabric, all the good stuff. This is 3.5 kilos, quite simple to set up. Once you've set up one kind of hammock, I feel like you have a sort of general idea on how they all set up. This is much like the Monolith actually, with the poles and the stabilization and the straps and everything. You got storage underneath, which also acts as a bit of protection from the elements. It's a flatbed setup. I thought it was going to be stiff like the Monolith. The Monolith is super, super sturdy. This wasn't so much. They had quite a bit of flex in it still. But in saying that, I did have a really nice sleep. It was sort of like your normal hammock style, like the Alton that I just showed you, where it does banana a little bit, but it's not uncomfortable. I actually had a really, really nice sleep in it. You got pockets inside, you got a hook for your lantern. This actually has an awning as well. I didn't set it up when I went camping, but you can find sticks or bring some telescopic poles with you. If it rains, you definitely want a bit of shelter, so having an awning definitely helps there. It's single person and yeah, it's a hammock, so you're off the ground as well. So if it does pour down rain, all the water's just gonna go underneath you and you're sweet. Again, being a hammock, you need trees to be able to mount it, and it will get cold at night as well. It wasn't the most thermal sort of proof. I did use a mat when I went camping in it because I was just worried that it was gonna get me too cold. So yeah, I'd say 3 seasons for this as well. Douche. This one's a little bit larger. This is a teepee. I feel like there's not many teepees out there that you can say that you can take on your motorcycle. This is a teepee by KingCamp called the Torino 2. This will strap onto your bike. It is a little bit weightier though. I can feel it already. How much is it? 6.8 kilos, yeah. So she's a little bit weighty, but it does pack nicely. We've got the straps here as well. I wouldn't say this is the most efficient tent to set up. It does take a little while. You got a lot of pegs. But once it is set up, you're ready for all the seasons, man. This is a hot tent. So it has a chimney hole. You can put a little furnace in there, have a little fire. It's actually rated for snow as well. So if you want to have a snow camp with a little stove inside your tent, you can do it with this. It's really, really clever. And it has a little awning as well, so you can protect yourself from the wind. You can change the direction of it. There's all these different styles that you can choose. And I took this out camping when it was a freezing cold night. And yeah, I felt super cozy in there without a fireplace or anything like that. That's the thing, like, where am I going to pack a stove? I'd love to do it, but yeah. And as for mounting it to the bike, I just put this on the back of the T7, had some rock straps, cross them over, boom, away you go. You wouldn't want to put this on a small bike. Guys, this thing, it's pretty large, it's pretty heavy, but it's a full-blown teepee, so yeah. This here is called the Nortent Vern 1. This feels of quality, man. This is made in Norway for Norwegian climates. I've seen photos of this just covered in snow, absolutely caked in snow. They've got a support brace in this thing for extreme winds. It's made for some pretty extreme climates. 4 seasons. Setting it up is pretty simple. It's a basic single person tent. They claim it can take only 2 to 3 minutes with practice to set up, which is pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. Very high quality material. It's reinforced with Dyneema, which is one of the strongest fabrics you can find. So that shows that it's going to be durable, especially during a windstorm. I'd actually like to go out and maybe set this up during it gets really windy here. It'd be awesome to set this up and see how well it can actually deal with the wind. And there's plenty of storage space as well. Packs down pretty small. It's just a nice, cozy tent. 580 USD. A little bit more pricey. I feel like this is a premium product. If you're going camping a lot, especially in crazy climates, yeah, this is the way to go, baby. Well, we just got the two Lone Rider tents. All right, we're gonna go with the ADV tent. Boom, right here. So Lone Rider are known for their high quality ADV gear. I really like this tent. It's structured nice. It has everything you need in it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. This isn't rolled all the way in, so you can, yeah, be able to get a bit more squishiness out of that. Roll it right up. Oh yeah, baby. You got your straps, you can pull in nice and tight. You got some reflectors on here as well for safety during transportation. You've even got this here, just in case you get a flat on the side of the road. Stick that there. Very, very nice, well thought out tent. Setting it up is simple. There's only like one big old skeleton of poles. You click them all together and then that's your structure. It's very, very easy. You've got pockets in the corners. You've got a net on the ceiling for storage. You've got more storage on the outside of your tent, mainly for your boots and for your camping chairs and stuff like that, especially if it rains. You've got hooks for your lanterns. You've got dual entry, one on each side. Awesome ventilations. It's a 4-season tent. And you got a nice big large packing bag, storage bag. Same with the Moto tent as well, which makes it easier for packing all your stuff in. And then, yeah, like I said, you can strap everything down really nicely. You've also got some loopholes on the bag itself, so you can strap your straps through there. Yeah, Lone Rider stuff, man. I always dig Lone Rider. I think they've got some really, really cool things. And finally, we have the big old monster Moto tent by Lone Rider. Same style bag. You got the reflectors and all that good stuff, ripstop fabric and all that. It's all waterproof and all the goodness. This thing, I love this tent. Specifically for when I go out when it's raining. When it rains, you rock up to your campsite, you set up your tent, and if you had something like, I don't know, like the Abel Brown here, say, and it's raining, you can only stay inside your tent to stay out of the rain, unless you have a separate shelter. So you might even want to bring another tarp with you or something like that and set up a shelter, and then you can do things outside like cook and, you know, live your life. I love this for the reason that it has a nice big storage area, either for your bike or for you to be in there eating, cooking, getting changed, sorting through your gear. You have a bigger storage space, and then you can get the awning kit, and then that extends the shelter of the tent. I think it's fantastic. A lot of people think, you know, why do you need to park your bike in the garage area? Like, you don't need to. You can use that for anything. You can use that for all your storage and all your little knick-knack stuff. I just park my bike in there because I can at night. And it's just cool, just zipping up your bike, nice and cozy in the tent. Just you're asleep next to it. You wake up in the morning, your bike's all nice and safe and everything right next to you. And, you know, if you're worried about people snooping around, or if you're by yourself in the wilderness, you don't just show people what you've got, zip it up in the tent, man, and it just looks like this random tent in the wilderness that could have like 5 people in there. You don't know. Obviously, the only downside is the size and the weight. This thing is the biggest tent out of all of them, but I can still strap this onto my street scrambler. I just use the, what's it called? What do you call it? A pannier rack? Pannier rack. I just use the pannier rack on the side of my bike. Use some rock straps, and that doesn't go anywhere. Just make sure you tie it through the holes and everything so it doesn't slide out while you're riding. And then on the T7, I'll just put it on the back, on the tail, and it all looks fine. It is around 6.5 kilos though, so just be mindful of that. Around the same weight as the TP. Setting up, for me, it isn't so hard. I guess the first time is always a bit crazy, but you have color-coded poles, and then once you get a good technique for it, it's very, very easy to do. And you can get it up, I reckon, 5 minutes. 10 minutes max, once you've had some practice. This easily fits 2 people, and then you can put all your storage all in the storage area, or you can even put it beside you while you're sleeping. Easily fits 2 people. There's lots of pockets, lots of storage sections in there as well. This is great for winter because you're in a capsule that's within the tent itself. So the ceiling of your capsule isn't the actual ceiling. There's like another outer layer. So you have that airspace between the outer layer and your capsule that's the insulator. So it keeps nice and warm in there, which is really, really nice. If you need like an ultimate massive storage section, you can actually, during the day, I guess, when you're not using that capsule section, is take that capsule section out, and then you just got a nice big interior. If you've got 2 motorbikes you want to park in there, if you're getting ready for doing some trails with 2 bikes or a crew or something like that, wicked shelter. You got hooks all over the place for lanterns. The ground sheet is actually, like, it has a big SOS thing on there. So just in case you're out in the wilderness, yeah, and you're in trouble, you can lay out that SOS thing, light a flare or whatever. I would say that this is a 3-season tent minus summer. It can get pretty hot and stuffy in this thing. It does have a dual entry, so you can have a bit of a breeze come through, but it does get pretty warm pretty fast in there. And this comes in at 600 USD. So it's a little bit pricey as well, but you get a whole lot of tent with it. Now just remember that camping is supposed to be fun. Camp however you want to camp. If you want to take a massive tent with a garage, take a massive tent with a garage. If you want to go minimal, go minimal. And if you want anything in between, then check out these guys or check out anything that's sort of like this sort of stuff that fits your budget, fits the style of riding that you're going to be doing. And you know, camping is about having fun and enjoying it and camping the way you want to. Thank you so much, Moto, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to use code FEELZ30 for a 30-day free trial or code FEELZ10 for 10% off your yearly subscription. Go check out the app, guys. It's awesome. It'll just outline all the wicked roads that you can take to your next camping trip. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please feel free to hit like, hit subscribe, and thank you so much for watching this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.